Hey everyone, happy Friday, or I guess I should say Good Friday. And welcome back to our live broadcast, Making It Together Home Edition. This is our second full week, actually. We started last Monday. We made it all the way to this Friday, and we're going to continue going live with you guys through the end of the month. And further, if we get news that we still need to stay at home. So good morning, Wade, commenting in from Facebook. Please comment in, let me know where you're joining from. Be sure to like the broadcast, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. And I'm actually going to you live through StreamYard. So you'll notice I did add a little blurb to the description at the bottom that allows StreamYard to connect to your Facebook account so that I can actually read your name as it's coming up in the comments. So if you can just connect that so that I can better interact with you guys as you guys are commenting in, that would be extremely helpful. But as always, thanks for joining us. I appreciate your guys' consistency with joining Josh and I throughout these broadcasts to bring you content from our homes. So last time on Wednesday, I actually was talking to you guys about a new thing that Transfer Express launched on their website, and it's all about the pink craft press. So this just recently launched on Transfer Express's website, and it's going to be completely perfect for people that are looking to work from home during this time or just craft without having to use a home iron. So I know there's a lot of hobbyists out there or crafters that like to decorate apparel with, their craft machines like a Cricut, Silhouette, Brothers Scan and Cut, whatever type of small desktop cutter that may be. They're typically decorating for friends and family, doing t-shirts and hoodies and a variety of things. But having to use a home iron or some type of heating element that they have to use their hand and their upper body weight to apply pressure to actually get everything to apply accurately. And this is going to be a great step up for that if you're currently in that situation and you're looking for something that's going to give you durability and quality product to not only make for yourself or for your family and friends, but if you want to take it a step further and get more involved in the industry from a business standpoint, this is going to help you really advance in that. So reason being, there's a lot of key attributes to this press that are going to allow you to get a durable application every time. And the three of those things being, anytime you're working with a heat transfer or a vinyl, it's always going to call for a recipe in time, temperature, and pressure that you have to have for your stuff to actually stick to the apparel that you're heat applying or ironing on, and it be durable and really stand up in the wash. And we offer a lot of quality product, but sometimes we get people here and there that are like, the product's not adhering accurately. I'm using my home iron. And it's typically because they're not totally sure about the time that they're actually ironing on each section of that design with that transfer, and they actually don't know how much pressure that they're getting. So this is going to handle all of that for you because it gives you the time and temperature readout, and it has a pressure knob on it as well. So there's a little pressure knob that you can turn righty-tighty, lefty-loosey to ease back the pressure and make it more firm based off of the application instruction. So I'm actually going to walk through the application instruction of Transfer Express's really popular screen print transfer known as Goof Proof. Goof Proof, one of their more popular screen print finishes because it comes in a variety of different colors. And also, it's just really easy to use. It applies at 365 degrees, and it only is a 4-second application. So all I have to do is load on my shirt, place the transfer, let the press do the work for me, and then it's done. This is actually going to help out too with having a heat press and getting more involved with screen print transfers, because not too many people have success applying screen print transfers with a home iron, because those key instructions aren't actually happening with an iron, because it's there's too much room for something to go wrong with an iron. So something like a heat press like this 9x12 craft press is going to be perfect for taking your hobby to a business and offering different finishes such as screen print. So again, this is a screen print transfer from Transfer Express. It's known as goof proof. And that plastisol ink just comes on a release paper and a mirror image, so that you can just place it down on your garment and heat apply. So let's go ahead and move forward with that step now. Before I do apply this, I'm going to make sure my pressure is at a firm pressure. So that was pretty easy to lock down. So I'm going to increase my pressure by just turning that knob a little bit and seeing where it's at there. Okay, so the harder it is for me to lock that in place, the firmer it's going to be for my application. So I'm happy with the feel of that and where we're at with that. So I can go ahead and place this right down on my shirt. And what's also really cool about screen print transfers is you don't have to worry about using a cover sheet. This release paper that the ink comes on acts as a cover sheet, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, and again, this is just a 4-second application. So it's going to count that down for me. And I actually had it set to 10, so I just let it get to 6. And then I'm going to open that back up. And goof proof is a hot peel, so I can just peel this carrier back and my design is applied. So actually, I thought this was goof proof, but it's not. It is our adhesive. All right, so this is an adhesive application. So what I'm going to do is just place this right back down and grab some foil and place that. So this happened to just kind of be in a box of different transfers that I picked up from the office. I assumed it was goof proof because it has that grid, and that's a typical tell sign of whether or not it's going to be goof proof or not, because there are some transfers that don't have this grid on the back, right? So with that gray ink, I just assumed it was goof proof, but it actually is the adhesive that works for foil. All right, so I'm going to grab foil over here and trim some up, depending on where my scissors are. 1 second. All right, here they are. All right, so just cutting that up real quick, and then we'll place this down. So adhesive and foil does have specific instructions. So, and I don't remember those off the top of my head. So what we're going to do is share my screen with you, and we are going to look for our adhesive heat transfer. So what's nice about Transfer Express is they have all of their application instructions. What they do if you're ordering a specific screen print transfer is that you actually get the application instructions with your order. It lays out exactly what product you ordered, how many, and then it gives you the application instructions. So something like this wouldn't happen to you if you were actually ordering, because everything would be there. All right, so I'm going to go to heat transfer foils so that it can give me my instructions. So I'm at 365. It's a little high in comparison to the 340, but it's okay. It's not going to hurt it. What I would be worried about is if I was at a lower temperature and it not applying accurately. So, but it does apply for 30 seconds. So I do need to increase my time here because it's only set to 10 right now. So all I'm going to do is just hit mode twice, and then it's going to take me to setting my time, right? So I'm just going to increase that to 30. I'm actually kind of glad this happened because it gives you an idea of actually how this product works. because we've been talking a lot about foils and metallics and the different finishes you can get. And I showed you a lot on the heat transfer vinyl adhesive. Now this is going to show you the screen print adhesive and the finish that it gives once you use that. So I'm going to lock this in place. I used a cover sheet for this one specifically because the foil actually likes to lift up from the air suction from the heating element lifting from the transfer or the shirt. So just keep that in mind. That's why I used a cover sheet for this one. All right. Freddie asks, Jenna, does that shiny box go away on the shirt? And if so, how long does it take to disappear? So if something has a shiny box, that typically means it's scorched. I didn't notice it on the shirt, but it may have happened because I am working with a blend here and it's a really soft fabric. And I'm at 365 degrees. So that could be a little too high of a temperature for this shirt. What I would want to do in that case is actually find a application that is a lower temperature that's not going to scorch the garment. So that's one thing you always want to consider is, am I choosing the right transfer for the substrate I'm heat applying? Typically, if I'm going to apply goof proof that applies at 365 degrees, I'm going to use a 100% cotton or a blend that has a high percentage of cotton in the substrate so that I don't have to risk any scorching or shininess of the garment. All right, so I'm going to remove this foil so you can see the finish. All right, so it works very similarly to the adhesive, but in this case, if you wanted to use the screen print adhesive, it's going to be perfect for those higher run jobs where there's a high quantity of garments that you need to fulfill, and you don't want to spend a lot of time in your production cutting and weeding CAD cut adhesive. You can just order the adhesive in your design already done, and they'll send it to you ready to heat apply like this. So that is an example of how screen print transfers work when it's something that you would want to consider. And the reason I'm reviewing this with you is because a marketing kit comes along with the purchase of our pink press. So this is really getting you started and advancing what you're currently doing at home into different markets and avenues that could ultimately lead you into more profit opportunity in this ever-growing marketplace. So a little bit about the marketing kit. I'll share the screen so that you guys can see, or actually I'm going to ask that our team just share a link to the marketing kit so you guys can dive a little deeper in your own time and learn a bit more about what all the marketing kit has. But I'll review some of the things that are my favorites from the marketing kit. And that is all of the different ink swatches that they provide you with so that you can share this with customers, whether it be an image or you're talking to them, they're coming to you and wanting to actually work with you on a design. You can share all these different colors and finishes. So they do glitter, they do metallic, pearl finishes, and a variety of different colors that are really great with matching for schools if you're doing spirit wear and things like that. So that little swatch booklet is like perfect for giving customers an idea of the color that they're going to get on their shirts. In addition to that, they personalize the idea book, right? So if you're not familiar with Transfer Express a ton, the idea book directly relates to Easy View Designer. Easy View Designer gives you access to a variety of templates and clip arts where you can create designs for your customers. Or if your customers want to go in and create their designs, you can actually put it in customer view and they can actually go in and design as well. But this idea book is going to be personalized to yourself or your business, whatever it be. And it's going to give you all of the templates and clip art in a mock-up form so that your customers can see all the different designs that they can get with you, right? And it's all organized based off of different markets and niches that you may be reaching with screen print transfers. So again, this is a really good opportunity and the price point is amazing too. So it's around $300 ballpark. So it's a great entry level press as well. So there's a lot of heat presses out there. that go for around that price, but the right technology is ultimately what's going to take you to the next level. So making sure that you have the right heating element that is going to accurately disperse heat throughout your transfer, accurately disperse pressure, and give you those time and temperature readouts so you know you're getting an accurate application every time. All right, so go ahead and visit Transfer Express, learn more about it, look up the importance of time, temperature, and pressure readouts with a heat press so that you're getting the right type of transfer, or not transfer, but heat press so that you're creating quality products for your customers. All right, so I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that because it's going to take you to the next level if you're currently working, if you're hobbying with these things or just crafting and making things for friends and family. If you want to start a business out of it, this is going to be ultimately the best next step that you can take at a low price, right? So yeah, it's really easy to work with, as you can see, and it's extremely portable. It's only like 35 pounds. That's why it was so easy for me to just take it from the office to my house and set up here to be able to do lives with you guys. All right, so I promise I do have a project for us today, but I want to go ahead and visit some of the comments. So I see you guys all commenting in. Thank you guys again for participating. Hi, Crystal, commenting from Facebook. Daryl. All right. Ethan says, good morning. My pink press doesn't heat up hot enough. After applying my designs, I have to finish up with my home iron. Not sure what would be happening there, but I would check with probably our quality experience team because that shouldn't be happening. All right. I've never had an issue with the pink press, but you just never know. Sometimes something could go loose with all the wires in here. So just keep that in mind. It's something that could probably easily be fixed so that you don't have to do that extra step. So I would just double check. All right, and Lisa asked, Easy View, is that something we order from you or we can design and cut it out ourselves? Easy View is going to allow you to cut and design to ultimately get screen print transfers. So it's something that you would ultimately end up ordering with us. It's not a design that you can export and cut out and heat transfer vinyl. All right, so moving along to our project, I'm actually going to be decorating with sign vinyl today. So that's not a project we've experienced with yet, or a product that we have experienced with yet to do a project with. So I wanted to show you how I was going to actually get a big design on a large piece of wood using the Cricut. So we're not actually going to be cutting it out. I think you guys get the idea of how things are cutting on the Cricut. So I don't want to get too redundant in the lives, but we just cut out a large design using the Cricut. So this is actually 18 inches. And for those of you that are working with the Cricut, you know it's typically 12 by 12 dimensions. So I'm just going to walk you through the steps I took to be able to get a large design in such a limited amount of space. So sharing my screen with you once more. I'm going to actually walk you through what these steps look like in Cricut Design Space, and then show you what I did with the wood as well to be able to get it the right substrate that we need for this adhesive to accurately apply so that it holds on there and doesn't want to fall off. All right, so we're in Cricut Design Space. You can see my design is Hello Spring. And what we need to do is make sure, first of all, we're at the right sizes for everything. So we need to split apart this design because it's grouped together because I imported it from CADWorks Live. So what I'm going to do is add a shape, and I'm just going to use the square like I have been doing, and breaking each of these pieces apart because we're going to have to split apart the designs so that we can piece everything together ultimately. So what we're doing here is dropping a square over top of the piece that we want to slice apart so we can move those around. All right, so I don't need those pieces anymore. I can just use this one. And now I need to make sure that everything is lined up accurately so I can get the accurate sizing as well. So right now it's reading as nearly 15 inches in width. And I'm actually wanting it to be 18 inches in width because I already measured my sign. I know the dimensions of the design I want it to be on. So 18 inches is going to be my go-to. I'm going to make sure I center this and then increase my width to 18 here. All right, so another thing to keep in mind whenever you're working with the canvas in Cricut Design Space is that it's also laying out, your 12-inch dimensions right here. All right, so if I were to zoom in here and open up those 12 inches a little bit more to see what it would look like on the canvas, you can see I'm exceeding that. So here is technically the amount or the dimensions that I have to work with, right? So that gives me a great idea of where I need to split my text at this point so that it's not exceeding that. So what I did to pre-cut my design is I just did each text or word separately and split them apart separately. So I put hello up in this section, and now what I'm going to do is break that apart as well, and then we'll go back and group everything together so that it's cutting together as well. All right, so just making sure that this is exceeding the limits that I have there of that text. And now we're just walking through that same process where we're slicing it and ultimately breaking each of these things apart. So now I can drop this down here. I don't want to have to worry about trying to add the spring text in here just yet. So what I'm going to do is leave this as is, because if I try to start piecing in spring, it can get a little messy. So that's why I did each word separately. So what I'm going to do here is group these together by going over to the left-hand side and just selecting group. Now it's reading as one, and it's going to cut as one as well whenever I move forward to the make it part. All right, so I'm good with this. I'm going to go ahead and move this off to the side now and grab the spring text. All right, so this is the largest part of my design, so you can see that it's certainly exceeding that by a bunch. So what I did was actually split it right at the I and kept the NG because I figured this would be the easiest part of this text to actually group that together in the masking process and the applying process. So again, all I do is just add a square and unlock it so that I can make it the width and length that I need it to, right? And again, we're just going to that I, making sure I'm leaving enough room to really connect them. And again, just walking through that same process that we did with the hello text, right? So just dropped this down here. All right, so I know all of my sizing is what it needs to be. And that's the basic steps that it takes to break things apart and be able to piece them together. Right, so really simple stuff. It's just knowing what tools to utilize in Cricut. But ultimately, we're just using the group and the splice, or not the splice, the slice effect. All right, so I'm just going to group these together. Now, when I go to the make it section, because I want these to cut separately, I am going to change the color of this one so I know which one I'm cutting each time. Then I'm going to go to make it, and it's going to show me exactly what this looks like. So anytime I'm working with sign vinyl, I want to make sure I'm not mirroring, because this is the type of media you actually don't need to mirror with. But at this point, all I do is just load up my material on the, I always forget the name of this, the little thing that you put into the Cricut, I can't even think of it. Don't make fun of me, but I can't even think of it. But the little, wow, it is really not coming to me on what that thing is called. But you put it on the sheet that goes into the Cricut, and then it's going to cut it all out. The cutting mat, there it is. I was going to say cutting sheet, and I was just like, no, that's not it. I know that's not it. All right. Tracy asks, why are you not using a graphic software like Adobe? Maybe I missed you saying that in the beginning. So I'm actually not using Adobe for this because I don't have Adobe. I typically only use, you guys are commenting and it's a mat. But yeah, so I don't use Adobe. I'm just not that advanced when it comes to graphic design. I just use CADWorks Live. It's a free online artwork program that we offer, so I just utilize that to my benefit because it has some templates and clip art in there that I can utilize, and I don't really have to create from scratch every time. And then I just export from there and bring it right into Cricut Design Space. So ultimately, I could be doing the same thing in Adobe, but to get things to cut on the Cricut, you ultimately end up having to use Cricut Design Space every time. It's not something that connects to other artwork softwares. But yeah, CADWorks Live is my go-to. And then anytime I'm working with a desktop cutter like Cricut or Silhouette, those have dedicated artwork studios. So you have to use those studios in order to get something to cut, essentially. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and apply the sign. So what I did, you can actually see where I pieced it together, the I and the N, whenever I did the masking, because I didn't want to have to try to get this lined upright as I was applying it on the sign. I would rather have some trial and error during the masking process as opposed to part of it already adhering to the sign. Now, there is some prep work that you have to do with wood because it is a substrate that is considered porous. And whenever you're working with a substrate like that, you have to be careful about adhesive not adhering accurately because too much air is reaching that adhesive and it just wants to flake or peel off. So basically all you have to do is pretty simple. Just get some paint and cover the area that you are going to adhere the adhesive to so that that adhesive has something to really grip and hold on to. So I actually wanted to share this with you because this is a sign that I decorated in the past for Christmas. And with our sign vinyl, we offer a variety of different colors. I'm going with the theme of my house. I usually do like typical grays and whites and blacks. So I'm just doing black on white, but we offer a variety of different colors in our sign vinyl, and it comes in 20-inch widths, so you have a lot of material to work with here. And we also offer it in patterns as well. So all of the patterns that we offer in our matte finish and our glitter finishes, we also offer in sign vinyl. So this isn't actually the sign vinyl. This is our matte heat transfer vinyl finish. But just keep in mind, all the patterns that we offer now in heat transfer vinyl, you can get in sign vinyl as well. And it's really fun to pair multiple colors together. So the same best practices that we recommend for heat transfer vinyl, pairing solid colors together, is the same best practice we recommend for your sign vinyl pattern. So I'm gonna share my screen once more with you guys and show you what the design did look like before I removed it and sanded everything down. So this is the one we created a couple years ago now. I was showing how you can bundle different sign vinyl materials together and make really fun projects. So I did the Christmas tree sign vinyl pattern that you can see there. And then I have my basic black matte sign vinyl. Today we're going to be working with the gloss black sign vinyl, so it's going to look a little bit different than the one you see here, but ultimately really easy to work with. All right, so I am going to adjust my screen here so you guys can see what I'm doing on the wood. Before I do that, I also wanted to share another couple images with you. So I removed that sign vinyl. As you could imagine, after sign vinyl has been on wood for a couple of years, that adhesive just pretty much sticks there. So I sanded the sign down. What you're seeing there is basically that template of where the adhesive was, but ultimately, whenever I was peeling that away, it was lifting up old paint and old wood. So I did get the adhesive completely off. So what you're seeing here now is just where the paint was removed and where some of the old wood lifted up as well. So that's after it was sanded down, and then this is after I repainted. So because I sanded, I got rid of that flat finish. So I needed to re-add that so the adhesive had something non-porous to really hold on and grip to. So that's why we did that. So let's go ahead and heat apply, or not heat apply, but apply our sign vinyl. So if you don't work a ton with sign vinyl, here's a few things that you need. You need your sign vinyl, obviously. Then the masking. All right, so if you're working with our patterns a lot with heat transfer vinyl, you're familiar with masking. This is going to take a specific masking. It's called Aura tape. All right, so it's just a clear masking that is going to lift your sign vinyl off of its backer and allow you to place it onto other things. So it's completely clear, as you can see there. And that way it's easy to see where you're placing everything. Clear carriers really help with that. Now we do offer a different type of tape. It honestly reminds me of duct tape, but it's really thick. So there is that option as well if you're looking for something like that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and place or move my screen so you guys can see what I'm doing here. All right, so since this is my largest part of the design, I'm going to start with this section. All right, so I'm just removing the sign vinyl from its backing there. And I'm gonna place this down here because I know that I have another piece of text to fit up at the top. So I'm gonna go pretty low here. And I'm gonna start by curving. If I know I'm pretty much where I wanna be on the sign, I'm gonna start from the center and then work my way out like that by just kind of curving it and then moving outward. All right, now I wanna make sure I'm really getting into this adhering inside those little areas where the wood is meeting or it's a little uneven. So I'm taking my squeegee and actually pushing the sign vinyl down in there so that I know I get a good adhesion there. So I'm actually starting from the center and working my way out. This is going to help with any air bubbles that could potentially be in there and keep my adhesive from actually adhering well. And the paint that I used is just leftover paint that I did my walls with when I first moved into this house. So just any paint really will work, except for obviously like fabric paint or something like that, but your typical paint. All right. All right, so I'm just gonna slowly remove my Aura tape, just making sure I'm not lifting up any pieces. Of course, I can always go back. It's not going to hurt me to, go back over each piece with the squeegee. It's not gonna like damage the sign vinyl at all. But right now I'm just being careful of lifting up any pieces that could cause a large part of this to rip. Now, I don't work a ton with sign vinyl, but it does create some fun little projects that you can do while you guys are home. And sign vinyl is actually really cost effective. It doesn't cost a lot to work with sign vinyl. All right, now I'm going to piece in my other design element here. So I have Hello Spring. I want to make sure I'm fairly center. I'm going to do this side first. You can really tell I don't work with sign vinyl often. And I don't even have the top part of that H completely masked. All right, so same process, just making sure that I'm staying fairly straight and a little centered there. So I'm interested, for those of you that do work with sign vinyl, what type of projects are you guys creating with it? I know a lot of people go as far as like doing epoxy, like using it for designs with epoxy on mugs and tumblers and things like that. But I don't work a ton with it, so I'm always interested in knowing what type of projects people are creating with them. All right, see some comments coming in, so let's see. All right. So Crystal says, I use the white masking tape. You can still see through it. Okay, cool. Yes, it's really whatever your preference is. No judgment here. All right, so on the last part, this is the only thing that probably why I don't work with sign vinyl a lot. I feel like it can be time consuming. All right. But it does adhere pretty easily. Whoop, that almost just came off completely. All right, and our sign vinyl wood sign is complete. This actually turned out a lot better than I was expecting because I don't work with stuff a lot, but I'm actually probably going to hang this up in my house because it turned out pretty cool. All right, so yeah, Crystal uses the white masking tape. Like I said, there's a lot of different tapes out there and sign vinyl options. So a lot of popular brands are like Aura tape, but we do offer the Aura tape masking, and then of course that white masking tape comes, I think it's like 6 inches in wide or something like that. So you can just kind of piece it and place it on there as you want. And then she says, we've done yard signs with print sticker vinyl using the SG300. Yeah, so that's another thing. That's taking it to a whole nother level. If you have a print and cut machine, you can actually get printable sign vinyl and do that sort of stuff. So just keep that in mind. If you have a print and cut system, then you got it. It's an eco-solvent printer. I shouldn't just say print and cut because you can do print then cut with some of our desktop cutters with like transfer paper. But this is actually where it's taking eco-solvent ink and printing on a sign vinyl, which is ultimately giving you the best quality of ink so that it can last outside in signs and things like that. But Crystal, you probably know more about it than I do. I'm pretty new to sign vinyl. I can talk all day about heat transfer vinyl, but I only know just a fair amount when it comes to sign vinyl. Ivan asks, you guys sell vinyl also? Yes, we do. And Daryl says, Transfer Right is a crystal clear with a blue grid on it. It's perfect for this stuff. So, all right, cool. All right. I don't use sign vinyl, but what is the difference between the 651? I use 651 or 631 on Tumblr. So Yeah, Crystal, help me out here, girl. You probably know the answer to this one. I don't so much. So I'm not, again, I don't know a ton about sign vinyl. I just know you can create some pretty cool stuff with it. But I do know the Oracle 651 is one that I hear a ton that people are using. And I do know there are different types of sign vinyls out there, one for flat surfaces and others for curved surfaces. So that you're not getting any wrinkling or adhesive not adhering whenever you're going on a curved surface such as a mug. All right, so yeah, there's certainly different types of things out there. I only know just a fair amount about that side of things. Crystal says there's a hinge method that is super helpful. So yeah, I just need to learn a little bit more about it. All right, Tracy, can you use the white masking tape too on wood, or would you recommend the clear? I think it would work fine with wood. If this goes on the wood without damaging the wood at all, I would imagine that masking tape would pretty much do the same. They have a fairly similar type of adhesive that really picks up the sign vinyl very well. They just have different finishes, one clear, one being more like a tape. Right. Yes. Don't mirror your cut. Exactly. So if you are new to sign vinyl, that is one tip that I can give you that I know, making sure you're not mirroring your design, because ultimately we're just lifting up the backing of that sign vinyl and placing it right on the hard good that we're looking to personalize or customize. All right. Yes, you can buy vinyl now. And Fabian says Oracle 651 is great for all purposes. I started making signs and then moved to shirts. So yeah, that is actually a really common thing that I find among a lot of our customers, is that they either start out in the sign industry or the car wrap industry, just kind of even going a step further than that. And then they end up coming into decorating apparel. So it's always really cool. People have different backgrounds, but ultimately, if you're in a different part of the industry, but it's still customizing and personalizing things, like the promo industry, if you're just doing strictly sublimation on hard goods and things like that, I see a lot of those people trickling into the apparel side of things because they ultimately know how popular a basic t-shirt is and how much profit opportunity that ultimately leads to that. So, you know, that's why I try to kind of learn a little bit more about sign vinyl and what's going on there, because the markets, if you will, really mix well, because you can sell both and it's basically the same thing. You're working with sign vinyl over here, and then you're working with heat transfer vinyl here, and they really just kind of coincide very well. All right, Tim, that's me, car wrap window, whoops, showing the wrong one. That's me, car wrap window tinter and decal guy. So yeah, and now he owns his own t-shirt business too. So yeah, they coincide. They're really easy to just do both because it's pretty much the same method. One just needs heat and one just needs pressure and a squeegee. All right. And then Jody says she thought the 361 was not permanent. That is what you use on walls and such that you can peel back off. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. And then Crystal says, I think that's right. 361 is temp. 351 is more permanent. Okay. All right. So, yeah, it looks like we're figuring it out. All right. And then Ivan, where is your Hottronics machine? How come the other dude gets a Graph Tech and a Hottronics? Josh is actually all set up at home because that's a side hustle of his. He actually does a lot of apparel and accessories for local dance schools and businesses and things. So that's actually his equipment. I brought this stuff home because it's easy to kind of move from one place to another. You know, it's easily portable. The heat press that I have is only 35 pounds and it's still a quality press. That's why I love it. And the Cricut's fun to work with. So I'm getting to craft. So I have no complaints here. All right, so yeah, it looks like we're getting questions answered. Thank you guys for kind of jumping in and helping out with the signed vinyl questions. All right, and that's pretty much all I have for today's broadcast. I want to thank you guys again for joining. I hope you have a very happy Easter weekend, given the circumstances. And I did want to let you guys know that on Monday for my broadcast, the Making It Together Home Edition, we're actually going to start doing it in the evening. I want to test out, or not in the evening, but more in the afternoon. So I'm going to test out the 3 p.m. time slot to see if that's a time that a lot of people can kind of come together and join and comment in different things, and we can talk more about different content and strategies when it comes to heat transfer vinyl and different projects that you can be creating. So we'll be, or I'll be back here 3 p.m. on Monday. Josh is still going to be staying at that 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, in case you're curious of the time zone. Those are the time slots that we'll be doing. So again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, next week, we'll be doing this at 3 p.m. and Josh will be live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right. So again, happy Easter and thanks again for joining. I'll see you on Monday.